Our guest speaker today is Alexandra Gale. Alexandra is a licensed Unity teacher and has spent 30 years supporting ministries in Windsor, Ottawa, New Westminster, White Rock, and Vancouver. In her role as a Unity teacher, Alexandra has taught Unity classes, led services, and served as church board director. Today, Alexandra is committed and as ever to following her inner guidance, and as Charles Furman thought, doing what is hers to do. This morning, Alexandra is excited to share key insights and some of the most profound experiences she has gleaned through her spiritual exploration. So let's give a big warm welcome to Unity teacher Alexandra Gale.
Thank you, Luciana. It's an honor to be here for the first time on this side of our wonderful space here. So my talk title today is Being a Spiritual Explorer, Mining the Depths and Ascending the Heights. When I give a talk, I choose topics that reflect what I'm working on in my own life. So you know that I'm on the path with you, and as I go through my spiritual experiences and my journey, I share whatever I'm, figuring out, or sometimes haven't figured out. Now, Spirit uses many channels to inspire us. It's not just when we come here, it's not just when we read those inspirational books that many of us have in our libraries, it's not the podcasts we listen to or the YouTube videos that we might be watching. There are many ways for Spirit to inspire us and to basically connect with us, give us those messages. And for me, one of them is Disney. Now, I am what is known as a Disney adult. I found that out last year. I'm a Disney adult. And what that means is I love going to the Disney theme parks. I started going in 2018 with my daughters. We've been on a couple of Disney cruises. And I watch a lot of Disney movies. I listen to a lot of Disney songs when I'm driving around on Spotify. And what I've come to understand is that there are messages in just about anything you're willing to be open to getting a message from. And for me, the one that's been coming up lately is a movie called The Princess and the Frog. And there's a new ride that they've got at Disney, and there's a lot of hoopla around it. For me, it's about a song, one of the songs. And in it, there's a lady, a wise old woman named Mama Odie. And she shares some advice with Tiana, who's the main character, and her love, Naveen. And the title of that song is Dig a Little Deeper. It was composed and written by Randy Newman. Some of you might be familiar with his work. And it's a fun, jazzy number sung by Jennifer Lewis, and it features the Pinnacle Gospel Choir, so you can imagine what that's like, and Anika Nani Rose. In it, Mama Odie says, you got to dig a little deeper to find out who you are. You got to dig a little deeper. It really ain't that far. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's get on our hard hat and our shovel and we'll start digging, if you're willing to come along on this exploration with me. What we're looking for today are the beliefs that you hold. And I will say here that I am owning that I am sharing my beliefs with you. So what I say today, I believe. And I've come to hold these beliefs as a result of my own spiritual journey and my own spiritual experiences. However, I also follow what Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, said, I reserve the right to change my mind. And really, that's what this talk is all about, being open to changing our mind. I'll be inviting you to question some of your beliefs, anything that may be holding you back from experiencing a fuller, more abundant life, anything contrary to the truth that while being fully human, yep, you are also fully divine. As we release these limiting beliefs that no longer serve us, we open to expanding our consciousness. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, we grow in the awareness of our divine nature, claiming our divine identity. As we do, we ascend to greater heights in consciousness. So I'll start today by defining what belief is. And I'm using as a reference the work of Tony Robbins. Some of you may be familiar with him, author, coach, speaker, very big in the self-improvement movement. And on his website, he says, belief is a certainty about what something means. Beliefs create the maps that guide us toward our goals and give us the power to take action. The challenge is that most of our beliefs are generalizations about our past, based on our interpretations of painful and pleasurable experiences. Often, we are unconscious about what we believe and how those beliefs affect our actions. Our limiting beliefs can cause us to miss out on the things that we want most. And our empowering beliefs can drive us toward the life we want to live. So says the website of Tony Robbins. So where do our beliefs come from? He suggests that there are 5 different places. Our environment, getting messages all the time. Events in our lives, good, not so good, however we define them. Knowledge, what have we learned? Are we accepting those things that we've learned? Are we questioning them? Past results. It happened, that's the way it is, nothing's going to change. And future vision, which most likely is based on our past results. It's what we think is going to happen because, hey, it already happened. And we have these beliefs that become entrenched in our subconscious. And we might want to remember that our subconscious doesn't have a filter. It just accepts whatever we want to put in it. And it doesn't kind of go, oh, is this going to help me? Is this going to lead me to a higher consciousness, a better, more productive, healthful, happy life? It just goes, yep, give me more, give me more. And a lot of us have just been conditioned by whatever's gone on in our life. From the time we are born, we receive feedback about ourselves, about others, about the world, and that's all stored in our subconscious minds. Now, our conscious mind has the pivoting role. It can take all that old stuff that hasn't been analyzed, gone through to say, yeah, this is good, no, it's not. Or it can choose from our superconscious, from that higher awareness. Has anyone been watching the Olympics for the last couple of weeks? Yeah. Now, those athletes performing what sometimes seem, to me at least, like superhuman feats, those athletes have often had to overcome some really horrific challenges in their lives. Broken this, personal tragedies. There's been a lot of coverage, certain athletes they've focused on to share what they've had to go through, overcome to get to the Olympics. And regardless of those challenges, I believe that they have an underlying belief that they can be the best in the world, that they can win, they can achieve something they've never done before, or even no one else has ever done before. I watched guys doing that and women doing that over the last 2 weeks. World records being set, personal bests being set. And personally, I don't think they would have been able to do it. I don't believe they would have been able to do it unless they had a firm belief in that possibility. Now, you may be familiar with Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who are Unity's co-founders. Now, we know Charles and Myrtle probably from the older pictures. They were young too once. Now, Charles, he believed that with faith and prayer, that his withered leg that was damaged as a child as a result of a hip injury, some of you may already know this story, and he believed that as he affirmed the truth of his wholeness, that that leg would grow and be restored to what we would call normal. At the end of his life, it didn't completely grow to match his other leg. However, it had physically grown. They measured it. And he used to have a brace. He didn't have to use that. He walked with a cane. He didn't have to walk with a cane anymore. His leg became more strength with his leg became an active part of his body through the power of his belief. Now, Myrtle, she went through something similar. And again, you may be familiar with this story. Myrtle was diagnosed with chronic tuberculosis. Now remember, we're talking the 1800s. And her prognosis was that at a young age, she's going to die from it. There was no cure back in those days. She attended a talk by New Thought teacher and doctor E.B. Weeks. And in that talk, she heard him say, "I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness." And Myrtle took that to heart. She said, "This is the belief I want to focus on. I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness." And guess what happened? Thanks to the healing power within her and her belief, the focus on the fact that she was divine in nature, not focusing on that, well, sorry lady, you're going to die because you've got tuberculosis. That's what everybody said. The doctor said. She said, no, I choose not to believe that. And here we are, how many years later, 100 and some years later, talking about Charles and what they've accomplished. Unity, you may know, has 5 principles that summarize our core beliefs. The third principle is that our thoughts and feelings create experience. Note that I didn't say our conditions. Rather, it's what we experience as the result of the thoughts and feelings that we hold that create what we would call our reality. On the slide that Unity Minister Reverend Ellen Davenport has put in her book, The 5 Principles, she says, our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs have the power to create our reality. Now, in Unity, we got the little r reality and the capital R reality. I'm not sure if you're familiar. You know, I am not only a licensed Unity teacher, I'm also a retired elementary teacher as well. So alphabetizing things is quite important to me. So the little r reality is this, what we see here now. The capital R reality is the spiritual world that invisible, absolute God. Again, whatever name you want to call God, I know that that can be a trigger for some people. So I invite you, if you hear that word, choose whatever is meaningful for you. So we say, oh, there's another reality. And if something's happening here and now, we can go to that other reality, going within, and we can bring forth new beliefs. So now I'm going to ask you if there's any area in your life that you'd like to be better. And if you can't identify anything, I say congratulations. Way to go. And maybe I need to hang around you guys a little bit more. So there could be something: health, prosperity, relationships. In her book, Money Vibe, Jackie Woodside, who's an author, coach, speaker, somebody that I know, she focuses on prosperity. And she says, she asks you to think about this. When you talk with other people about any aspect of money, what is the tone of the conversation? Upbeat and enthusiastic? Worried and resigned? Or some other tone? What do you most often say about money, she asks. And what belief does this reflect? So now we're getting a methodology where we can go within and ask ourselves some questions, not just about money, about anything in life. And she wanted people to uncover these beliefs that they might not have even been aware of. So I'm going to ask you to take a moment just to consider some things in your own life. And if you'd like to see changes, maybe you got to figure out what's really going on. What beliefs are you holding? And I'm just going to shout out a few here. This is the way things are. Nothing's going to change. I'm not happy with. I'm not happy. I don't know what to do about it. I don't have the resources to figure this out. I don't have enough. Fill in the blank. I'm too old. The world is an unsafe place. I'll never, whatever it may be. And some of these things are buried so deep inside of us, we don't even realize they're there. And one that I think a lot of people in Unity finally get to have revealed is, I am not worthy. And they find that that's a belief that has affected so many different areas of their lives. Whatever the circumstances, is probably an underlying belief. And it can be something that raises you, or that can be something that maybe is not as uplifting. It is important to remember, though, that in our human world, that there are challenges, little r challenges. And what I call them is the facts. I don't know if you remember an old show, it was like, just the facts, ma'am. Well, there are facts that sometimes life isn't going the way we would like. And in Unity, we do not deny that outer condition, that it exists. What we do is we choose a new way to experience it, and we choose a different outlook. There is possibility, like those Olympic athletes. The belief in possibility. And I'm going to invite you to consider that there may be a limiting belief that you're holding, that it is really contributing to you not being in that place of peace and contentment and joy and love that you might be desiring. And as you become aware of any of these beliefs, you may ask yourselves, here we go, is it really true? Is this something I want to believe? Will this belief help me to live the way I want? And if any of these answers is no, then I'll ask you to consider that you may want to come up with a new belief based on the truth, with a capital T, that will lead you to the results that you want in life. And I've come up with just one. I have within me infinite resources that I can apply in this situation for the highest and best good to unfold. So if sometimes you think life isn't quite the way you'd like it, I have within me infinite resources that I can apply in this situation for the highest and best good to unfold. And if during our time together here, nothing's really coming up for you about any beliefs, that's okay. It's a lot to take in. I invite you to just take these ideas into prayer and meditation. And you may find that something comes up for you even at the least expected times. You could be out for a walk. You could be standing in the grocery store line, whatever. If you're open, it can come. The good news is that if we're willing, Spirit reveals what we need to do, what we already know, but it's not yet come to light. Many of our long-held beliefs may feel comfortable, and we may be convinced of their rightness. And if it's not you, you might know somebody like that. Our ego wants us to hang on to these things because it wants to be safe and protected and in control. And that reminds me of a joke. When a flat earther finds conclusive evidence against their beliefs, it's important for them to know it's not the end of the world. So if long-held beliefs are not allowing you to live in the fullness of divine potential, maybe it's time to release them. In 1948, science discovered neuroplasticity. I love those big words. And they found that our brains have the ability to change, to reorganize pathways, create new neurons and neural pathways. Our brains physically change. And when I think of this term, I think of Play-Doh. I don't know if any of you played with it when you were a kid. And you could shape it into anything you wanted. Create. What if we can do that with our lives? We have within us the power of divine will. We have the power to direct our beliefs, our thought energy, our feelings, to rise above any condition with a new perspective. As we release and let go of these limiting beliefs, we open to a greater expression of our divine nature, and we begin to ascend the heights in consciousness as we show up in the world in a new way. Why do we want to do this work? When you release these beliefs, old ways of thinking and feeling, anything not for your highest good, not only will you experience more peace, joy, love, prosperity, whatever you may desire, it is then that your unique gifts only you have that can be shared in sacred service in your home, with your family, in your community, here at Unity, and in the world. There was part of our meditation today. I behold the truth that I am here to be a light. I claim my unique talents and abilities. I cultivate the spiritual capacities of peace, wisdom, vitality, and abundance, and I shine the light of them in the world. As we affirm the truth, we create a pathway for our greater good, manifest in the physical realm, and to share that good. We say affirmations here at Unity. You shared some with us today, Luciana. I particularly liked, my heart is open to new spiritual insights. As you affirm and believe statements of truth, you open to a greater expression of your higher self. Muhammad Ali said, "It's the repetition of affirmations that lead to belief, and once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen." Belief, thinking, and feeling are intertwined. What we believe gives rise to thinking and feeling. How we use those thoughts, check in with our emotions, and also what we think and feel can lead to our beliefs. And you can create new based on the truth that you are a divine being. Remember that song from Princess and the Frog that I mentioned earlier? Mama Odie also sang to Tiana, "Your daddy was a loving man, family through and through. You, your daddy's daughter, what he had in him, you got in you." We in Unity know that God is not a man, not a real father. Rather, the divine source, masculine and feminine principles such as wisdom and love, power and substance. But Mama Odie was right. In Unity language, we would say, we are expressions of the divine, and what God is, we are. You are not only one with God, universe, source, whatever name you may choose to call the one power and presence. You are an expression of that presence, having the same nature as it. That is your true essence, fully human and fully divine. As you engage in these practices, checking in, beliefs, prayer, meditation, affirmative prayer and meditation, in our oneness, as you rise, you raise the entire human family. We are one. This is what Charles and Myrtle Fillmore not only taught, but they believed it and they put it into practice. The result is that unity around the world is changing lives, making a difference in the world, and right here too. Now, there is a quote from Charles. "Every man is king in his own mental kingdom, and his subjects are his thoughts." And I'm going to remind you that Charles was born in 1854, and some of his language might be a little out of date. So what I've done is I've reworded his message so that the essence is captured in modern language. So our next slide says, "Every person is master of their mental and emotional domain, and their subjects are the beliefs, thoughts, and feelings." That's what Charles was saying. We are in charge. Being that we live in a physical world of duality, there will be ups and downs. In ascending the heights, we need to take time to catch our breath. We may slide backwards occasionally. However, when we are committed to making the change, we are able to find that it becomes easier to return to the trek upward. So being on that mountaintop, we get a view that's more peaceful, more expansive. We see greater visions, vistas, and experience life from a higher perspective. We can breathe and we can rest. And yes, we'll be on that mountaintop, and also we have to come back to the real earth. And here's where I'm going to remind you of what we heard in the song that Nathan sang today. You will do amazing things. I ask you to believe that. You don't have to work it out. Just stay here. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes and take a breath and smile. You will do amazing things. Do you believe you will do amazing things? That you are amazing? I believe you are. Do you believe you're divine? I believe you are. And so it is. Amen.
If I could look down on this path I walk from somewhere way up high, I could see the crooked road that I have come. I've walked a mile with sorrow, I've walked a mile with joy, and now I'm less afraid I'll be the one. For every tear I've cried, there's a smile that I have earned. For every mile I walk, there's a lesson I learn. I am not lost, I am exploring. Life is an adventure worth enjoying. Though I may not know where I'm going, I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring. Some people choose to live their lives on quiet avenues, while others find a place in the parade. Some like me are seekers, we take less traveled roads, believing we can find a better way. And though I get discouraged, I won't be turning back. I have joy as my compass and faith as my map. I am not lost, I am exploring. Life is an adventure worth enjoying. Though I may not know where I'm going, I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring. All of us are headed for the same destination, so why not blaze a trail that's got imagination? I am not lost, I am exploring. Life is an adventure worth enjoying. Though I may not know where I'm going, I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you. Amazing. You are such a blessing to our community. And thank you, Alexandra, for the inspiring talk today. Really nice. Thank you. And next Sunday is our annual picnic, and you are invited. And we would especially like to invite our friends who are watching on Zoom and YouTube. We never forget you, and it would be great to see you. So come on out next Sunday, August the 18th, and join us at Maple Grove Park for lots of good food and fun. You can find a map of the picnic location on our website. Bring a dish to share, your favorite beverage, and a chair or blanket to sit on, and musical instruments if you play one. We look forward to seeing you. And of course, don't forget that this Tuesday you can attend our A Course in Miracles study group live from 12:30 to 2:30 right here at Unity on the lower level. If you have any questions on this or any of our events, please feel free to ask them at the bookstore after the service. And today's affirmative prayer chaplains are Shirley Thompson, Mike Richards, Melba Burns, and Marina Marco on Zoom. Would you please stand so we can see who you are? Thank you. Thank you for your service to the light. I highly recommend those prayers. They are so powerful, so healing, and so magical. So please, to have a confidential prayer with one of the chaplains, simply come up to the front after all the music has finished, and you'll find the chaplains right here in the front row. They will be happy to support you in prayer. And if you are watching on Zoom, I will show you how to participate in just a few minutes. Finally, please join us downstairs after the service today for coffee, tea, and conversation. And now, as we bring our gathering to a close, please stand and let us together say our prayer for protection. All together now. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.